Tonight, a man leads Saskatoon police on a wild chase with a stolen vehicle. Residents share what impacts rural ER closures are having on them. And researchers may have the answers to how dinosaurs healed from injury.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, July 9th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. Police in Saskatoon were led on a wild chase Wednesday morning. A stolen truck led dozens of police vehicles across the city. Cruisers were rammed and shots were fired before it ended near the city's landfill. Dan Zakreski has the latest.
Luke Riles and Megan Kruger saw this police chase happening in real time.
It flew down Avenue C, again going really fast and looking really erratic. And when we ran outside, it had already crossed 22nd Street here, but it looked like it had collided with a police vehicle.
More than one police cruiser, and not just here. The truck left a trail of bashed cruisers and miscellaneous smashed cars and trucks across both sides of the river. Kruger says it looked at first like officers had the truck pinned.
And then the next thing I knew, it had driven through one of the police cars and right past me. It happened all very, very quickly.
Police say it started around 8 o'clock this morning with the report of a stolen truck near Wiggins and Cascade. Now, this isn't far from where Luke Riles lives. He said that he had a close encounter with the truck when he was turning onto Broadway on his way to work.
This big cube van blew by me and went straight across without stopping across Broadway, going really fast. Like it was probably going, I don't know, 70, 80K at least, I think. And the back of it was open and things were falling out and dangling out. There was a long cable that it was dragging and it just kept going and going.
15 minutes later, Riles was at the office telling his co-workers about the close call. Then they heard sirens coming closer.
And what do we see blowing by our office? The same cube van this time with probably, I don't know, 10, 12 police officers, cops, police cars behind it. We saw the SWAT team. There was a guy sticking out the top holding a machine gun. That's when I started to really worry that somebody might really get hurt.
The chase ended when the van flipped onto its side on the Circle Drive off-ramp to the city landfill. Dan Zakreski, CBC News, Saskatoon.
And late Wednesday afternoon, Saskatoon police gave an update on that chase. They confirmed a 32-year-old man stole that white cube van shortly before 8 Wednesday morning. Officers tried to stop the vehicle multiple times, but were unable to.
Investigation, it was determined the suspect was involved in an earlier violent incident and vehicle theft. During efforts to apprehend him, police vehicles intentionally struck and 2 police officers discharged their service-issued firearms. The incident concluded safely and the suspect is now in custody. While the investigation is very much in its early stages, it is ongoing. But I want to assure the public that there is no further threat to community safety.
Police say the man was not injured when the vehicle was immobilized, but he was taken to hospital with a dog bite, which he suffered when he was being arrested. There were no other injuries reported. The province's police watchdog says it will not be investigating as the incident does not meet its mandate. Members of the provincial cabinet have signed a letter requesting the federal government address bail reform. The letter is signed by Premier Scott Moe and his cabinet ministers, along with the mayors of Battleford and North Battleford. Moe said he's focused on communicating what he wants to see changed to the federal government.
Yes, we need the recovery opportunities, but we also need the assurances that our CMP, our municipal police officers, in our case, the Saskatchewan Marshals, our provincial police force, have the tools to ensure that when someone is a danger to themselves or someone else in their community, that they aren't going to be in that community free to do that. They're going to have to take a break, and if they do so repeatedly, the break is going to be much longer.
Among the changes requested by the province is strengthening sentencing options as well as stricter bail provisions for people charged with drug trafficking or organized crime, and amending the criminal code to give primary consideration to public safety in the bail decision-making process. Meanwhile, North Battleford's drug treatment court is now in session. The alternative court program diverts offenders from jail time into addictions treatment. Drug treatment courts are already running in Regina and Moose Jaw. Offenders with drug addictions must meet certain criteria to get in, including not having previously committed a violent crime.
This is not a slap on the wrist. This is not an easy path to follow. These are individuals who are taking accountability. As they come into court, one of the requirements is that they accept responsibility for their offense, and then they enter the process of the programming and the resources that they need to address the underlying cause of those crimes.
More than 150 people have successfully completed the program since 2006. Some rural areas of the province have been left without emergency room access. It's being caused by a shortage of healthcare staff like doctors and nurses, and that means some people are traveling long distances in critical moments to seek care. Aaliyah Marco Omene has that story.
Really concerned if we need emergency services, what happens?
Watrous resident Angela Silzer says the town hospital's emergency room has been closed dozens of times since the start of the year. The owner of a group home, she and her patients have to travel 80 kilometers to the nearest hospital.
Because they have an intellectual disability, their ability to understand what's happening. Why are we going? We're already in a distressful situation, and then we have to go an hour away and wait for care.
Silzer says traveling for care causes her facility to become short-staffed due to long wait times. One longtime doctor who works in rural hospitals says this issue isn't just isolated to Watrous. He says rural hospitals just don't have the resources they once did.
It's not just physician shortages that we're seeing. We're seeing a shortage of a bunch of healthcare workers throughout. So my nursing colleagues, my pharmacy colleagues, my lab techs, etc. There's a shortage of everybody.
The province's official opposition is also sounding the alarm. It says these closures could be the difference between life and death.
We hear of people arriving at facilities desperately seeking health care only to find a sign on the door saying it's closed.
CBC News requested comment from both the Saskatchewan Health Authority and provincial government, but neither have responded. At a press conference Wednesday, Premier Scott Moe said they are always looking for new healthcare recruits. Aaliyah Marco Omene, CBC News, Regina.
The NDP says the province has mishandled the houselessness crisis despite thousands of vacant houses across the province. There were over 17,000 social housing and affordable housing units in the province last year. That is according to Saskatchewan Housing Corporation data, but about 13% of those units were vacant. The NDP says there are also communities where more than half of the publicly owned housing was empty.
In fact, the Sask party has taken us backwards with harmful and thoughtless changes to critical income support programs and zero plan for housing. In fact, they aren't even using the public housing that they have available. These homes have the potential to save lives, to get people off the streets, to set them up with supports to get their life back on track.
The province says it continues to make progress to ensure all residents have access to stable and affordable housing. And it says since 2021, it has seen a 30% decrease in the number of vacant units. Meanwhile, advocates in Regina are calling for the city to adopt a new policy on homeless encampments. They want the city to listen to people who have experienced homelessness, and they ask the city to commit to not removing encampments on city property unless people from those encampments can be provided permanent housing. Another request was for more support for encampments like potable water and bathrooms Some feel the city is not moving fast enough.
July, it's a heat dome. The city was to make a decision today. It would be too little too late, but it doesn't mean we don't still push for this. And in a lot of conversations we've had with all kinds of government, all kinds of organizations, I feel like I can speak to it, and some other grassroots people I've worked with. There just doesn't seem a sense of urgency.
The city of Regina says it acknowledges the concerns raised. It says efforts to develop and improve responses to homelessness are ongoing. Well, a live look now at Victoria Park in Saskatoon, where the, the Saskatoon Jazz Festival is underway. This is one of various locations, of course, where concerts are happening as part of the festival. And Wednesday has been a very hot day for concert goers. Weather specialist Helena Mahalik is down at Victoria Park, soaking up the sun, the heat, and the music. And she will have a look at the rest of our Jazz Fest forecast after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. After breaking 3 world records last month, Canada's Summer McIntosh is now eyeing her next challenge to try and break her own record. The 18-year-old spoke with media ahead of the World Swimming Championships in Singapore. Kayla Hounsel has the details.
3 world records. Take a deep breath, Summer. This is your moment.
It is the moment when Canadian swimming sensation Summer McIntosh made history yet again and raised the bar for the World Championships set to begin this Friday in Singapore.
I'm just excited to see how I manage doing 5 events, which I've never done before on the world level.
She destroys it again!
At the Canadian Trials in BC last month, McIntosh became the first swimmer to break a world record in 3 different individual events at one long course meet since Michael Phelps in 2008.
Anna Mae Pierce of Canada.
Former Canadian world record holder Anna Mae Pierce, now Oldershaw, says McIntosh is a once-in-a-lifetime swimmer.
She gets compared to Michael Phelps, and she gets compared to Katie Ledecky, and I think she's Summer McIntosh. The things that I can see for her, I think surpass that.
The 3-time Olympic champion says she was shocked to get a call from Phelps after her performance at trials.
I was not expecting that whatsoever. And I got to chat to him, and he was so down to earth and so nice. And I've never met him before, so it was really cool to, talk to my childhood idol, and he's still my idol, of course, and the GOAT of swimming.
But now it's McIntosh inspiring the next generation of Canadian swimmers.
She's groundbreaking, she's setting the stage for so many future athletes, and she's just showing that literally anything's possible.
She's like a freight train in the water.
14-year-old Brody McPherson witnessed McIntosh at trials.
The buzz from the crowd, once they realized that they were going to watch a world record get broken either the first time or again live, it was just insane.
McIntosh says she's going for as many golds as possible in Singapore. Her fans say 5 golds in 5 events is on the table, or, as it were, in the water. Kayla Hounsel, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, the sun is out, the temperatures are cranking up, the wind is not too bad, and weather specialist Helena Mahalik is out at the Saskatchewan Jazz Festival on CBC Day, enjoying the weather. Helena, looking like some exciting stuff happening out there.
Yeah, Ethan, it's too bad you're missing all the action here at the Saskatoon Jazz Fest. We're hearing from Juno Award-winning artists like Wolf Alice, William Prince, and it sure is a really hot day to be out here. Let's take a look at some of our daytime highs. Areas in the south reached 30 degrees. And even exceeding that, with places like Assiniboia being the hottest place in the entire country, reaching close to 40 degrees. And with the humidex values, some areas feeling even hotter than that. Temperatures, especially in the southwest, heat warnings were in effect for that area throughout the last few days, and temperatures feeling really hot in those areas. currently in the province, if you are watching live Wednesday night, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the north around Highway 135 in the Pelican Narrows area. Risks include wind gusts that are very strong, hail that could reach the size of ping pong balls, and heavy rain. That storm is moving east at 30 kilometers an hour. And, you know, we are also watching a severe thunderstorm in central Saskatchewan, where I am in Saskatoon, even though it sure doesn't look like that. And the storm could be moving into the Davidson area as well. Some risks include hail that could reach golf ball sized, wind gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour, and a slight risk of a tornado as well. In the coming days, we might continue to see some rainfall in the province, especially areas around Regina and Swift Current, as well as up north, continuing to see a chance of rainfall there. By Friday, we're continue to see some scattered showers, especially in eastern parts of the province, around Estevan and Yorkton. And by Saturday, we're just going to see a mostly clear day in the province, beautiful conditions for the weekend, but up north, we might be getting some rainfall there. And, you know, we're watching our smoke situation because a cold front is passing through the province tonight. It's going to provide some relief because temperatures are going to cool down, but we've already seen this affect our smoke situation because air quality statements are now in effect for central areas of the province like Rostern and Prince Albert as well. And it's a little bit of a breezy evening here at the Jazz Fest as well. Areas like Moose Jaw actually got up to 70 kilometers an hour wind gusts. Central areas around 30, and we're going to continue to see a breezy next few days with wind gusts up to 40 kilometers an hour. But Ethan, we're going to see temperatures cooling down over the next few days back to seasonal, but it's a nice, beautiful day for people to enjoy the Jazz Fest tonight.
It sure is. And hey, take some videos of William Prince for me and his performance. A great performer for sure. Thanks so much, Helena. Well, some new research has come out about a pretty famous dinosaur in our province, and the Morning Edition's Adam Hunter spoke with one of the researchers behind it.
You might know that Scotty the T-Rex is the largest Tyrannosaurus Rex ever discovered, found right here in Saskatchewan. You might not know that a group of researchers studying that dinosaur's bones over the last 6 years, well, the team at the University of Regina has been working with a Canadian light source to look at a rib bone. The bone has unearthed some information about how dinosaurs may have healed from their injuries. Jarrett Mitchell is the lead author on the project, and he joins me now in studio. Good morning, Jarrett.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So this, I mentioned 6 years in the making. This project started in 2019. What is the latest on this discovery?
So the latest we just published just on Friday, we found preserved blood vessel structures inside a rib from Scotty the T-Rex. And this rib was interesting from Scotty because it featured a fracture. So it was either due to some sort of disease that Scotty had, or either an injury, got into a fight with another T-Rex, for example, that caused this fracture. And we were able to take this to the Canadian light source and able to do some imaging as well as chemical analysis to determine that there was actually preserved vascular structures inside this bone.
So an X-ray and an examination of a dinosaur bone, how old?
Roughly 66 million years ago.
For you, what's that like to be able to work on something with that sort of history?
Yeah, it's still kind of mind-blowing to me. Like, even again, working on this project for almost 6 years, it's still mind-blowing to me that we've been working on and still analyzing things 66 million years. It's pretty crazy. So
what can we take from learning about how dinosaur wounds healed? What are we hoping to learn from that?
So what we can kind of learn from this is talking about the healing potential of T-Rex, for example, for Scotty. So normally what gets preserved in the fossil record is only just the hard parts, just the bones or the teeth. But we can actually have the soft tissues preserved in rare circumstances. And these can tell us a lot more about how dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. For example, in this case, blood vessels. And we think these blood vessels that we found preserved are related to the fracture. And so these were larger new vessels that were created in order to help heal the bone. So this can tell us about how T-Rex or Scotty, for example, was able to heal itself and survive after dealing with injuries or possibly disease. So.
Mattel has unveiled the first ever Barbie with type 1 diabetes. This Barbie has accessories like insulin patches, an insulin pump, and also a glucose monitor. The doll maker says it partnered with diabetes charity groups to design the medical equipment. Mattel has previously released a Barbie doll who is blind and a Barbie doll with Down syndrome. Stay with us. We have more news, a look at the Riders ahead of their game on Friday, and a final look at the forecast from the Jazz Fest after the break. Stay with us. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are finished practicing for the week ahead of Friday's game against Calgary. The Stampeders are heading to Regina to fight for the top spot in the CFL West Division. Both teams are enjoying early season success in large part due to their run game. A.J. Ouellette is the league's leading rusher for the Riders, and Dedrick Mills is close behind for the Stamps. Limiting Mills on the ground will be the focus of the Riders' defense.
We saw it kind of last year with Dedrick. You see the explosiveness. I think, in my opinion, that's one of the best things about him. He's an explosive runner, but he still has the ability to run in between the tackles. He can make guys miss. So for us, and he has great vision, so he can make you pay if you're undisciplined in your gaps.
I think we got to just be gap sound. I think it's just all about us doing our job. You know, we haven't been as good as we were last year in this run. So I think we all kind of like feel that.
Sam Amelis and Sean Bain Jr. have officially been ruled out for Friday night. Starting quarterback Trevor Harris is a full go and will return after a one-game absence. Kickoff is 7 o'clock at Mosaic Stadium. And from Mosaic Stadium, out to Victoria Park in Saskatoon with the Jazz Fest, and Helena with one last look at the forecast.
Yes, Ethan, we have hundreds of people here in the sun and in the shade, but over the next few days, you might not need the shade. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast for the city of Regina. So over the next while, we're going to see temperatures return to seasonal. That's because a cold front is passing through the province Wednesday night. We may see some wind or some rain over the next 2 days because of this, but just in time for the weekend, temperatures jumping right back up closer to that 30-degree mark. Into next week, though, we'll see them drop down back under seasonal for this time of year. And even by next Tuesday, we may see temperatures below the 20-degree mark, so a few cooler days ahead. Saskatoon will also be cooling down Thursday, and into the weekend, we're going to see Saturday as our warmer day. A little bit of a breeze, though, and into Sunday and Monday next week, we may see some showers throughout Saskatoon, but you know, the sun will be coming back up. Into next week, though, we will see temperatures just a little bit below seasonal for this time of year, but our overnight lows over the next 2 days are at seasonal, Ethan. So I'll just be enjoying the nice evening here at the Jazz Fest, enjoying the music.
You do that for both of us. Thank you, Helena. And that is it. For more news anytime, you can head to our website or our YouTube channel, and you can also download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.